Hello and welcome to another update video about Link. So on the Chainlink chart, we're still watching if price can give us a 5-wave move to the upside. I have to say very clearly, until we have that, there is not really any clear setup here on this chart. Yeah, from an Elliott wave point of view, if you want to have a reliable setup, there isn't one. There is a potential here for a C-wave rally, but it needs to hold $7.16. If you want, you can use that as a setup, but bear in mind, there is nothing I would promote here. It is an area where basically price has to turn, to give us that C-wave rally. It would need to provide, or it would need to ideally turn around before breaking below $7.16. My view is that below $7.16, or at least if we get a sustained break below that, we are heading quite quickly to $6.70. So $6.50 to $6.70 is structural support here. There is micro support before that around this region, $6.92. And if you add the BRVP, the volume profile indicator, then you see this is an area where price is probably going to slow down again. Yeah, this is typically the area where you will see a bit of choppy price action. It could then take a while to get through. Maybe it will even bounce. But for me to consider it likely that it's going to do the C wave from here, it would need to turn around before getting a sustained break below $7.16. Now, here's where the nasty B waves come in, because this is not a 1-2 setup, it's an A-B setup. So it is far less reliable, which means if you're looking for within a already unreliable setup, if you look for something that's reliable, you could wait for a first 1-2 setup. So the wave C is obviously a 5-wave move. Typically, I would not recommend trading a C wave without seeing a first 1-2 setup, because the B wave can be very shallow. It can also be very deep. B waves can overshoot. While this is a reference point, the 78.6 fib level, for B waves, it's a bit tricky. Yeah, so just be aware of that. But ultimately, I still think we can give the idea of a 5th wave rally a chance, as long as it's holding the $6.50 level. Only if I see 5 waves up, then a 3-wave pullback would provide the next reliable trade setup. Until then, this can easily break down, and a break below 650, I think, could send it to new bear market lows. That's sort of, I think, in a nutshell, how I see Link. Certainly a chance here for higher prices, but it needs to prove itself. Yeah, first of all, a 5-wave move up and 3-wave pullback. Be careful not just to trade something out of boredom, okay? There's no point trading an unreliable chart. The purpose of the Elliott waves here is currently just to track the movements and to understand when we can get 5 waves, what we need to see to get those 5 waves. And as soon as we have 5 waves, we can identify a reliable trade setup, a pullback trade. If you try to trade the smallest time frames, then I recommend that you add additional indicators to the chart. Yeah, you need an additional edge if you trade the nano waves, because they can change quite quickly. Also, it's obviously not manageable to give you any recommendation here, especially in a video where things on the smallest time frames change so quickly. But yeah, I mean, this could be a corrective B wave down. Just be aware that $7.16 needs to provide a turnaround to give us a wave 1 here of wave 5 with a decent likelihood. And if we see the wave 1, then a wave 2 might be a setup. Until then, I have no confirmation that a low is in place here, a local low, okay? And ultimately, it means waiting for that 5th wave to the upside. And again, below $7.16, I would pay attention to round about that here, that $6.90 level, and then $6.50. And below that level, I think we have no bullish prospects left, and it would need to prove itself again. I mean, even at the moment, it's only a 3-wave rally, so things are rather uncertain at the moment. And as I said, to be frank, a lot of the altcoin charts, they are looking pretty sad. I mean, even this one it's just toppling over. It's just toppling over, and there is not really an established uptrend. So anything that you're doing is really just on smaller time frames here, without any backing of a larger degree uptrend, I would say. Okay, if you go long here or anything, I think this is just waiting for clarity. I think that's the action here. A break below 650 would unlock prices probably all the way down here to round about 290 to 350. At least that would be the overall target then, until we see an impulse into the other direction. And yeah, I would hope we get 5 waves up, but I'm very skeptical these days about a lot of the altcoins. Because also Link, I mean, it has over a year, we've only had 3 wave rallies. So it's just tracking the structures and waiting for 5 waves. And when we see that, we have a first indication that a lasting uptrend might start. Also be aware we've got this descending trend line here still on the chart coming down. That might act as additional resistance. And if price goes up now, that trend line would be around here 827, 830. Be aware that price broke out of the ascending wedge pattern to the downside. That, in my opinion, increases the odds for a breakdown. But we said we give it a chance for a 5th wave as long as it's holding 650 to 670, which is the structural support. That's my update about Link. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.